Hi, this is Robert with Cruzbike, and I'm here in Newburyport, Massachusetts at the Cruzbike warehouse. And in this nice open parking area here, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that will help make you a better Cruzbike rider and hopefully make your riding experience more enjoyable and easier as well. All right, let's get ready. Cruzbike. Now that we have transformed into our riding gear, let's talk a little bit about gearing and why you want to be in the proper gear when you start on a Cruzbike. If you find yourself in the wrong gear, it can make starting much more difficult. Always take the time to make sure you downshift when you're pulling into a stop. If you're in the middle or the lower high range of the cassette, can make starting from a dead stop much more difficult. We want to be in a nice low gear, a nice climbing gear, in order for us to get started easily. This rule applies to all Cruzbikes. For our starters, we're going to check out the Q45. I highly recommend having a look at our fit videos and our fit section of our website. Always make sure you have a nice, good general fit on your bike. We'll go over that a little bit here. Here we've already checked our pedal distance here. We have a slight bend at the knee, which is what we want. On the upstroke, we have clearance from the handlebars. We're not going to hit our legs. We have a good 2 inches or so room there. Our arms are nice and bent. Now when I push with my right foot, the tendency is for the boom to move to the left with some pedal steer. Now you can pull on the bar with your right arm, but it's much easier if you leverage with your left arm. So here I'm going to gently push forward on the handlebars with my left palm, and I can really straighten out that front end. In fact, I can keep it dead straight if I push. If I pull, it's much more difficult to leverage the front. As we see here, same thing. If I push with my left leg, the bike will want to steer right. So rather than pulling with my left arm, I will give a gentle push forward with my right arm. Now the amount of pressure you need is pretty minimal. Here we're going to ride around. Here I am not really even holding too tight onto the handlebars. It's also important to remember to always be in control of the front end. My feet and my hands are working together at all times to make sure that the front end does not sway back and forth or get away from me uncontrollably. With enough practice, you'll be able to ride no hands. Now I'm riding this Q45 with platform pedals, so I'm not clipped in. But as you can see, my legs are doing all the work. So it's that fine muscle control that can control the front end, allowing you to turn or steer or maintain a nice straight line as you wish without holding on to the handlebars. Now, I don't recommend that for beginners, but it's definitely something that you can work towards in your practice. Another area to practice is your start from a dead stop. You want to make sure you're in the right gear. Nice, easy gear. I'm going to leverage forward, and I'm going to practice going as straight as I possibly can when I start, making sure I'm very smooth on the pedal stroke. Notice I'm not pulling on the bars at all. I'm simply leveraging forward with each pedal stroke alternating right and left. I don't really have to fight the handlebars because the leverage against the seat and the bars is doing the work for me. Let's see if we can do a dead start by only pushing on one side. So I'm only pushing with my left hand. I'm going to smoothly go up, continue my pedal stroke, and off we go, one-handed, only pushing on the bar with my thumb. All right, we're going to try that again. This time I'm going to start off with my left foot. That's traditionally my weaker leg to start off on. All right, here I'm going to go start with my left foot. I'm only going to push. I'm pinching the bar with my thumb and my forefinger. Left arm up in the air. Off we go. Very gentle, pushing and pulling as I get my pedal strokes underway nice and smoothly. All right, let's say goodbye to the Q45. And for our next demonstration, we'll pull out the Cruzbike S40 again. Now again, make sure your fit is nice. Note that all the cruise bikes are going to have a different leverage on the front end. The S40 has a lot of boom tube on the other side of the fork, which creates a different type of leverage than the Q45 and a different type of leverage than the T50 and the V20. So all of them ride a little bit differently, but the same rules apply. Using a gentle forward push, we take off nice and easily. You can pretty much ride around pushing forward on the bars, nice and smooth. Now I wish I had $1 for every time I heard that a cruise bike cannot handle well at slow speeds or cannot make tight turns due to the fact that it's a moving bottom bracket front wheel drive. But as you can see here, the cruise bike does just fine at slow speeds. Now here I'm sitting forward a little bit. I'm doing less pushing against the bars, but I'm still keeping a little bit of push and a little bit of pull, working my legs and my upper body and arms all in sync to have a nice smooth motion at slow speed and tight corners. This is another technique you can practice. Just take it nice and slow. Again, you don't let that front end get away from you. You're always in control at all times. When you get really good, you just enjoy no hands. Once you've mastered syncing up the push with the counter steer on the pedals, sprinting comes naturally, nice and straight. You can really lay the power down on a cruise bike. I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the amount of pressure that it takes to ride your particular cruise bike. As we can see here on the S40, the handlebars swing and pivot around the steering axis in a different way than the Q45. It's also different than the T50 and the V20. Each one is unique. Before you ride, take some time in a parking lot somewhere or in your own driveway to get familiar with how it feels. Just get a feel for the push and the pull, the amount of pressure it takes to counteract that steering. Depending on your seat angle, here on the Q45, we're much more upright. We don't have as much leverage on the back side of the steer tube, which is okay. It's just different. The most important thing you can do on your cruise bike is practice, practice, practice. Don't go too fast, and also make sure you learn exactly how your bike handles before you tackle traffic or any riding in the road. This video has really only scratched the surface of the different riding techniques. If you have pro tips of your own, we always like to see those shared with us at support@cruzbike.com and or posted on our cruise bike forum. But either way, practice and you'll become a master riding a cruise bike. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Robert signing off for now. Until next time.